Hi guys, I finally learned how to effectively oppress women and minorities with ease with the help of the Gamer Handbook.
What a fucking...
Not only does it secure my place in Virgin Hell, but it came with a free ticket to see the Joker opening night. Now, that would be cool and all, but I haven't seen the first movie, because the Joker's obviously a sequel, but the first movie's supposed to be great. It's Emmy Award winning. Now, I'm about to bounce and head out to the local mom and pop video store. Do you need anything? Do you want anything? Because I'll be back. Alright.
What a fucking ass.
By the time Suicide Squad got its first trailer, I was already suffering from an illness that affected me and thousands of people across the globe. A baker's dozens of these movies have been thrown my way at this point, and they were not good for my financial or mental well-being. Together with the fact that the trailer seemed like DC was creating another dark and gritty film, was not hard for me to skip this flick. I mean, until...
Behold the voice of God.
A bounty hunter, a girl clown, a guy with a boomerang, a man who can climb anything, Raphael, my fire-bending dad are forced to square up against a witch who touches her brother like she wants to bone him, and in her ancestral sexual frustration, she decides to kill everyone. Although the group may be unalike in looks and beliefs, they are alike where it counts, the heart. Also, advertised extra, and cult leader Jared Leto is there for about as long as this summary. Suicide Squad did not have a lack of stellar source material to work with, nor a lack of expert actors, but it seems to fall flat because of everything behind the camera. If I were to guess, I would say the producer, the director, and the production company all had 3 different creative directions for the film. On one hand, the movie is a bright, raw XD cringe fest, and on the other hand, is a half-baked attempt at trying to create a heartwarming story about how bad guys can have morsels of good qualities in them. However, hands down, what ruins this film is the editing and the flow. Every time I think the movie's about to progress story-wise, I'm hit with a famous song and a new character or a boring meeting between people. The title card may have been 4 minutes in, but it took about 40 more before everyone's together in the same scene. Take in mind other movies that have the same various unsimilar peoples are put into a situation and by the end of it are able to see each other as friends and family plot, and watch how quick they get all the characters together in the same scene. In at least under 30 minutes, so the characters have time to interact with each other and develop genuine, believable relationships, while Suicide Squad does the exact opposite and almost restricts the characters from interacting with each other for the first act and a half of the movie. And when they do finally interact, it's nothing deep or introspective or funny, to be honest. It's kind of just awkward and gross.
Harley Quinn, nice to meet ya. Love your perfume. What is that? The scent of death?
But I digress. Regarding the flow, or lack thereof, the best example of its very apparent issues is when you watch the first act of the movie and it's an upbeat jump cut from origin story to origin story with bright overlays and the music to match, and then it hits a brick wall and gives us 25 minutes of the squad trying to get up a building. I'm not sure if the flow issues stem from the creative direction complications mentioned earlier, or that whoever had to sit down and edit this poopy cock of a film just wanted to be done with it as fast as possible, which I don't blame them. And if I am right, and whoever was hired to edit the movie did try to speed through the process, I wouldn't be surprised because it shows. Like this odd shot of Deadshot on top of a building before he's even there, and this teleporting Joker, teleporting June Moon. I know maybe it's nitpicking of me to criticize a weird shot for just 1 second, and to be fair, the scenes in question are supposed to be summaries of fast events, so they're supposed to speed by in a sense, but it's the fact that these just 1 seconds add up, and they really take me out of the immersion of the film. Suicide Squad opens with the classic rock hit, House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. A nice tone for a gritty and bleak setting, and we see one of our main characters by himself in a gritty and bleak prison cell. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that for these first few minutes, I was a little surprised. I I actually thought this movie could be good. We have a nice scene with a great actor doing some acting, with a few quips here and there, but the role still seems to be taken seriously. But then emerged another song. Leslie Gore's You Don't Own Me. And then sometime after that, Rick James, Super Freak. And then Kanye West, Black Skinhead.
But Jacob, these are good songs, and they're all recognizable. And you're really going to criticize the music choices made in a movie?
Yes. Because music is one of the easiest ways to set the tone for any movie. Let's bring back those movies mentioned earlier. Guardians of the Galaxy, 60s and 70s hits to make you feel home in a new direction for Marvel. The Breakfast Club, rock with a hint of rebellious spirit. Suicide Squad,
Purple Lamborghini lurking. Rose.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck?
Since the film's soundtrack is awfully jumbled and grab bag, the tone in turn seems awfully jumbled and grab bag too. One scene we're suiting up to Eminem's Without Me, and another scene we're supposed to be soaring full with Etta James, I'd Rather Go Blind. I've never heard a soundtrack that is so clearly catered to appeal to as many people as humanly possible. We have Heathens for the younger kids, Fortunate Son for the older geezers, and Purple Lamborghini for 30-year-olds who still wear DC shoes. But back to the more general tone issue. It just feels like the movie can't choose a tone and stick with it. And yes, you can make a dramatic solemn movie with some jokes, or a light comedy with a heart-wrenching scene, but you can't switch the tone for a scene just because the scene was a good idea. Makes the entire movie feel cheap and ungenuine. Ungenuine is the word I most associate with Suicide Squad. It seems that every person acting either phoned it in, or was just trying to make the best of whatever shitty script they were given. Except Jared Leto. This man clearly enjoyed playing the Joker, which is the only positive statement I can make regarding his iteration of the character. Akin to Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker, there's nothing wrong with the actor, or Suicide Squad's actors. In fact, Hayden brought life to an otherwise lifeless script. It was George Lucas's fault that his movies felt so flawed. While in Margot Robbie's and Will Smith's case, it's David Ayer's fault. But you cannot entirely blame David Ayer, because he only had 6 weeks to write the entire screenplay. And let's not forget the infamous reshoots that Suicide Squad had to endure. It seems after Batman vs Superman was penned for being too gloomy, DC asked Ayer to add more scenes that were a little more quote-unquote fun. But regardless of how I feel about it, this movie made bank. And when you have a movie that makes this much money, the only logical choice is to make a sequel. And in Suicide Squad's case, it's a sequel along with a spin-off. While David Ayer was supposed to direct Suicide Squad's sequel, he dropped out due to the first movie's less than stellar reviews. However, during James Gunn's short departure from Disney, DC swooped in and gave him the writer and director role for Suicide Squad's direct sequel, set to release in 2021. Regarding the spin-off, Margot Robbie takes the helm as producer and main billing, reprising her role as Harley Quinn in the upcoming Birds of Prey, set to release February 2020. And hopefully this time around, Robbie can bring Quinn's tragic and intricate backstory to the big screen, and then proving to the general audience that Harley Quinn is a character worth leading her own movie. So I think it's safe to say that the squad isn't going anywhere anytime soon. But until those films are released, this is the one we have. So let's try our best and appreciate it for what it is. I'm gonna make a list of all the things I like in this film. There's only 3 things on the list. I like when the goat man bleats when he's shot in this scene. And I like that Captain Boomerang steals with a hand vacuum, because I have a hand vacuum. I like that Deadshot has $0 in his killing people account. It made the film feel relatable for a second. It's also kind of weird that Deadshot has $2 million but can't put his child through school. And since I only like 3 things about this movie, I'm going to give Suicide Squad, the movie, 2 out of 10. Bye. I love you. Oh, hey, what's up, guys? I got invited to a secret gamer club. I'm so excited. Tonight's our first meeting, but since it's every week, it's gonna be too expensive for me to buy paint, paint myself white. So I'm gonna bleach my skin. So, about to hop in here.